drown the daylight dreams in alleys filled with broken.
Amigos de Qual Music, yo soy Evan y estamos hoy desde Bogotá, Colombia, reunidos con Andy Pillar, el CEO del 70.000 toneladas de metal. Uno de los festivales más importantes que se hace a mar abierto, que parte desde Miami y reúne a una comunidad metalera inmensa. Y en este festival tenemos también presencia latinoamericana de las bandas extremas más importantes. Y por supuesto, vamos a hablar sobre eso, sobre la importancia de las bandas que ha tenido Latinoamérica en el festival y obviamente las bandas colombianas. Andy, welcome to Colombia.
Thank you very much for having me. It is always a tremendous pleasure to come to this beautiful country. The people here are so nice and welcoming. I always love to come to Colombia. The food, the people, just the life. It really makes me feel at all. Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you. Porfa, cuéntanos por qué crear un festival de metal en el mar.
Well, there is always a short answer and there is a long answer. Which one do you want to have?
The long answer is it's good.
The long answer. Okay, all right. So I give you a little background. I started as a local promoter back in my home country in Switzerland over 30 years ago, organizing small local concerts. My parents were not so very happy about this because sooner or then later I started to organize concerts all over the country and go to school to sleep. Later I became a booking agent, booking bands to neighboring countries, to France, to Austria, to Italy, etc. Eventually becoming a tour manager, touring with bands all over the world, also with some Canadian bands from Vancouver, just British Columbia. And fell in love with that city there. I got in a vacation apartment really close to the cruise ship here in Vancouver. In the summer there is cruises that go to Alaska. So one night, that was 18 years ago now, I was sitting on my balcony and one of these cruise ships left for Alaska. And our friends and myself, we were drinking. Obviously, I had one drink too many. And I was like, we should charter one of these cruise ships and put a heavy metal festival on. And my friends were laughing, Andy, you're drunk, that's never gonna work, like people will fall overboard and they will destroy the ship or something. So next day I woke up, I had a big headache, but this idea was still in my mind. I knew everything about the live music industry as a promoter, as a tour manager, as an agent. I had no idea about cruise ships. But this idea was still there, look, many, many years later, this is where we are. But short answer, I was drunk.
Ok. Andy, cuéntanos de la importancia de las bandas latinas y las bandas colombianas en el festival. Y no solamente de las bandas, sino del público latino.
70,000 tons of metal. The original, the world's biggest heavy metal cruise. We also call it the United Nations of heavy metal. Let us see. This year we set a new record with 81 countries on board. 81 different nations being represented on this one ship. People from countries that are at war with each other, coming for the same reason, for the love of heavy metal, all together on this one ship out in the ocean, having one peaceful party, no problem. And no, as I said before, nothing ever happened, nobody ever fell overboard, and the ship always stayed in one piece. Now, there is a lot of people from Latin America, especially for we are here in the beautiful city of Bogotá, Colombia. Colombia has always been one of the 10 most represented nations on board. So paying tribute to that, I'm coming here also not only to make sure that in the future we have even more people from not only Colombia but from all over Latin America, but also to probably discover new talent. There is so much talent in Colombia, in all of Latin America, and we want to make sure that we offered this world stage, that is 70,000 tons of metal, to Latin American bands. We had from Colombia over the years, like here from Bogota, for example, Cochicayuto, and we had other bands from around Colombia, like Massacre, Norasa, Tenebrarum, and many other ones. And we also want to make sure in the future that there is always Colombian representation on board, not just fans, but also bands.
Ok. Dime por favor, Andy, ¿qué se viene para esta versión 2026? ¿Y cuál es ese propósito que se viene para el 70,000 toneladas?
Okay, next year we sail once again out of Miami, Florida. They call themselves proudly the cruise capital of the world. The cruise leaves on the 29th of January. We're going to Labadie, and for 5 days and 4 nights we will be on our self-created peaceful heavy metal heaven out in the ocean, not bringing people back to the real world until February 2nd. My goal for next year, we have a lot of challenges in this world. We may not want to talk too much about politics here right now, but look, one thing that is important for me, I believe everybody, it doesn't matter where you come from, what color your passport, what color your skin, what is your orientation or whatever, we're all the same on 70,000 tons of metal. And fostering that and making sure that this also happens in the future and is even better in the future. All these problems that we have in the world, they don't end at the border. Borders for me, they exist only on maps and in people's minds. These big problems that we have globally, we can only solve as a humanity, as a whole. Therefore, we need intercultural understanding. We need to meet. You cannot forge relationships with people from the other end of the world on a video call. You need to travel, you need to meet, maybe you need to have a drink together.
Andy, cuéntanos cómo las agrupaciones que tienen esta meta de llegar a 70,000 toneladas a representar al país, en este caso Colombia, ¿cómo pueden llegar a ti? ¿Cómo pueden llegar al festival a tocar allá?
There is, of course, you can be lucky, and I see your band play live. Like I have been here to Colombia several times. I've been to Rock al Parque. I've also seen other concerts here, and discovered new bands. That was like, holy crap! You know, I didn't even know that band, or maybe I know them by the name, but I never heard or seen them before, and they really impressed me. So that is, of course, the strike of luck. Otherwise, there is an easy way. You go on our website,
Okay.
70,000tons.com. There is a contact form you can write there. If you really want to send a CD or something, the customer service will give you an address. It may take a long time until I get it. You know, sometimes when I come to the office, you know, like I have such a stack of CDs, eventually I listen to them, yes.
Okay.
And every year I pick out a few that I think they deserve a chance to this global stage that the 70,000 tons of metal is. Because not only do we have people from, this year we had 81 countries, 81 nations on board, as I explained, but we also have around 130 journalists from all over the world, from Australia to Finland, from South Africa to Japan, and from Colombia to Canada. And for these bands, of course, it is a door opener, or it can be a door opener. And there is several bands that actually played from different countries, also from Colombia on board. We also have a lot of industry representation that after they played on 70,000 tons of metal, they probably found an international agency that represents them, or probably found or one of the new big record companies worldwide that releases their music.
Ok. Ya para ir cerrando, ¿qué le dirías a los fanáticos del metal en Colombia respecto al festival y por qué no deben perdérselo. ¿Por qué deberían ir?
To experience it yourself. 70,000 tons of metal is different than any other festival because we have no VIP areas, we have no backstage, and we already create this atmosphere when people arrive at the port of Miami. Everybody, the singer from the biggest band on board, or the paying customer in the cheapest 4-bed interior cabin on deck 2, they go through the same entrance, they go through the same security checkpoint, they go through the same check-in, and once they walk over this gangway on the ship, something happens in your subconscious. Everybody realizes, in the true sense of the meaning, we're all in the same boat. And there is this mutual respect between artists and also fans, because everyone is on this ship for 5 days and 4 nights. You cannot get away. So you really see all the musicians roaming around the fans. They go to the same restaurants, they drink at the same bars, they go to the same jacuzzi, and afterwards you hear this story. Oh yeah, yesterday I went to the elevator to go up to the restaurant, and there was Nerdle from Behemoth in the elevator. Or, oh my god, yesterday I watched Sepultura play in the jacuzzi, and there was some musician. I heard stories. Oh yeah, I was in the jacuzzi sitting next to Joachim from Sabaton. Yeah. Where else in the world can you actually sit in a jacuzzi and watch Sepultura play live? In the middle of the ocean, only on 70,000 tons of metal, the original, the world's biggest heavy metal cruise. Guys, this is Andy Pillar, the skipper of 70,000 tons of metal, the original, the world's biggest heavy metal cruise, and you're watching and listening to Evil Music.
Thank you so much, Charlie.
Really, thank you very much. It's been a real pleasure.
Seguimos desde Bogotá, Colombia. Yo soy Eddie, aquí y cuando presente